I was doing the quantum speed programs all started up again this year, and I'm so grateful for the team around me: Nina, Jadine, Al, Caroline, like everybody, Michael, like just the team around me right now. I did a seminar for some 12 to 14-year-olds, and the topic was the circle of support. And I think in Shift and maybe in Mindset Matters we did it, but what I was talking about, and it's really threw the parents off because I've never had this many parents in a seminar. It was fantastic talking to the players, but also having that dual conversation happening with the kids. Here's what the outcome was. I was talking about the circle, about who is in your circle of support. Who do you choose to put in your circle? Who's supporting you? And I have this concept called your performer self. And your performer self, like when you're performing and you're giving the world something to judge, you're giving the performance to judge. So I was talking about when you're a teammate, it's really important that you're being quite self-centered and centered when you're doing your training. Well, I could hear an audible gasp, like the parents were like, oh, don't say that. They can't be selfish. It's a team sport. And I went, well, yes, in training and development, that's an individual thing. I have to get myself in shape to be a great teammate. There's no such thing as team development or team health or like public health. Like we've got this mindset for some reason that we're this giant collective, and we're really not yet. Unless we're living in the Star Trek or Star Wars world, we're not a collective yet. That's coming maybe with AI. But what it hit me like a ton of bricks where these parents were still thinking, even at 12 to 13, 14 years old, that their sons and daughters were a part of a team and that was going to develop them. And yes, it's part of the community. But what I was able to separate out was that who is the individual that's taking care of the individual to be a good teammate. And if we transpose this onto our culture and our society, if I'm not taking care of myself and you're not taking care of yourself and we're not taking care of each other, then we can't be functioning members of a powerful and positive society or culture. So over the last couple of years, that concept has been taken away, I think, from people in a way that they're thinking, well, if I'm taking care of myself, I'm being selfish, and that's going to kill grandma. And so there's this gap and this leap that's been made. And I want to be able to close that gap. And as this era, for example, I'm going through that with Quantum Speed right now and with Ice Academy Montreal, there's eras that are coming to an end so that a new era can open up. So the history comes and the positive and the learnings come. But in that moment, it still is about me being in the best contribution I can be. And I don't want to step over that. If you're still listening to this, please take care of yourself so that you can be a functioning member of this new world order or this new culture, of what's coming down the pipe. Because to your point, Patrick, it's coming. It's been coming since time began. And the first time I became aware of it was in 1992. So I know that this has been coming for a long time and we've been preparing on some level, but I don't think we had any idea that it was going to look like this. So the I in team, for all you hockey people out there is an I in team. There is it. And it's really important that you understand that you are the most important person in your circle of support. And it's important that you put around you in your performer star and in your structure of support people of like mind, people that support you, people that challenge you, people that want the best for you when you want the best for them. I mean, that to me, that's the start of the new era that I'm wanting to help us build and also help the people that we care about.
You hit a lot of points there, and I'm going to transition into another part of the conversation as we start to wind down here. But I think you said it, and it's just so worth repeating, and that is that it is absolutely imperative that you look after yourself. It is the meme of put your oxygen mask on first in case of emergency. And the reason is so that you can, in fact, look after those around you. If we want to give a comparative, when we look at those individuals that we consider homeless or on the street, they're living on the street, they don't have the ability, whether it be mental capacity or whatever that is, to look after themselves. They cannot look after others. So consider that as much as we think it's selfish to look after ourselves, to take the time, moms are infamous for it. We use that often as an example because they look after kids and husbands and in-laws and outlaws and all the stuff that goes in, and they forget to look after themselves. And, one day, 25 years later, they wake up bitter and pissed off. And the next thing you know, there's a divorce because they didn't look after themselves. So it is so much value to understand that concept. And I just wanted to highlight it again. As we consider the new era that we're transitioning into, as we honor the transition from an existing era. I think it's really important to, embrace that change, look after ourselves, and know that the transition is going to be messy. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be all of those things. As much as we're going through the pain and the transition, and I'm kind of like going, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go. It's going. And so I think we have to be mindful that in all of this will be opportunity. And will it be kind of ugly? Yeah, I think it will be. And we'll come out the other side. And stories aside of depopulation and eating bugs, or driving EV, or whatever the story is going to be, that aside, I think there's going to be huge opportunities if we open up to it. Let's not spend our time pushing back too hard and not looking into the future, because we want to keep pushing back. And when you push back on something, you're only looking the wrong direction. So in the age old philosophy of martial arts, when somebody pushes, pull. And when somebody pushes, yeah, that's right,
Yeah,
pull.
that's right.
Yeah. And
When
so
you're pushed, pull. When
that's
you're
right.
pulled,
Pu-
push.
push. That's it. So the thing is ultimately the other way to say that, I guess, is go with the flow, and don't fight the river. That's really it. Don't try and
Yeah,
force the river.
and I'd like to just close on one piece of that you said, Han, is that um, we also add the moments of pause, maybe some reflection, take some silence, some stillness, because notice what you're attaching to through this change. Are you going to put your pronouns on your signature? Are you going to take a stand for men competing in female sports? What are you going to be doing, and how hard are you going to? Because to be honest, those are transitory as well. And as I've watched over the last 5 years about things that are coming in, people are attaching to, and then they find out that maybe that wasn't true. And now I have to unbelieve in that, or now I was wrong, but I can't admit that I was wrong. So there's a place of mental, basically toughness and capacity, so that we use and bring in our critical thinking skills from a place of being aware. Is something being propagandized, and are we being told to do something that's so against our values that we do it anyway to fit in? So I just wanted, yes, we have to take care of ourselves and each other so that we can. I mean, the critical thinking has gone out the window, I think, even in airline travel. I saw a presentation on the plane last night coming home that the flight attendant actually says, if you're wearing a face mask, take your face mask off before you put on your mask. Like, they're actually having to tell people that.
Yeah.
So let's make sure that we're evolving, and we're bringing our critical thinking skills along through at the end of this era and as we open up to the new era. Because I think if we just stop and we just embrace the things that the TV's telling us, then there's no new era that is going to be as full of possibilities as we believe.
Beautiful.